Take it to $50 million, take it to $60 million. And if our cost is only $300,000 and we're getting 600, that's not bad, right? Versus we take a little league team and increase their revenue from $10,000 to $20,000. That's just not going to work, right? So this helps you get the right clients when you're able to show convincingly, authoritatively that you can achieve this particular result. So we make our money on the outcome. So the bigger the outcome we can drive, then the more we deserve to get of that. If we can't drive an outcome, then you could be really good at selling, but it's just not going to last, as you know, right? All right, well, guys, I have a special episode today of Office Hours, and I'm going to talk about why we should not be selling courses. This seems hypocritical because I've made several $1 million selling courses. I'm known for having courses. I've got courses all over, whether it's Fiverr, it's in our academy, it's on other sites, it's with Instagram and Google and whatnot. But there's been a shift in the last couple of years. And I want to talk about this shift and then what this means for all of us, where we all have to publish training. So courses are basically just webinars now. And there's very little value, arguably, in any webinar, why anyone would want to spend an hour together, like even here, spending an hour together. And the reason why people are willing to do it, to go to a mastermind and fly out there, to go to a conference, is because they see a specific intended result. So yesterday, I flew into Austin and spent all day with Lauren Tickner. Lauren Tickner is one of the top people in selling courses and programs. She's doing $15 million a year, nearly, and has, I think, 150 clients that pay something like $15,000 a month, where they're selling high ticket coaching courses, all of these kinds of info products, this kind of thing. And the way she's been able to do that the last 6 or 7 years is she has one clear value proposition. She will double your income. So if that's the promise, and she's got a clear product and framework to do that, which she does, I've looked at it, then why wouldn't somebody go through her program and pay a few $1,000s just to get access to the steps and the modules where she goes, she walks you through how to set up your core product, which is different than your offer, which is how you present that product, with how you execute upon it, with how you replace yourself by hiring other people, by how you do marketing, generate more leads, this kind of thing. So she's able to scale up. These people call themselves founders, but they're really people that sell courses or sell coaching programs at high ticket by providing a clear value proposition on how she does that. So if you think about it, she could sell courses on Facebook ads. She could, I could do something on how do you build a website? How do you rank on Google? How do you use Photoshop? How do you do whatever? How do you, make sushi or something like that? But what people really want is that result. So if you start from that result, then you don't have a course anymore. Then it's, how do I start a landscaping company in 30 days? How do I get $1 million cases as a personal injury attorney? How do I lose 20 pounds in 90 days, right? How do I achieve a certain result in X number of days? And when we created this interactive video, which you guys saw last week with Rudy Maurer, when we were at his 9,000 square foot office in Tampa, which was all red, which is his thing, is about being, in red. He said the same thing. Don't sell courses, sell a program where I help you achieve this result in this many days through this particular framework. So if you think about that, that's the XYZ model. That's the same thing as your LinkedIn bio, as your headline, as the title of your blog, as where you put everywhere. It's like your resume if you're looking for a job. I help X achieve Y via Z. So I help a certain target audience, not everyone on the planet, achieve a measurable particular result via my program or via a skill that I have. So you could have a course that's tied to the skill that you have, that's kind of a self-serve, people can watch webinars, whatever it is, to learn how to do what you do to drive this result for this particular user. So if you think about this XYZ model, I help X achieve Y via Z. That's actually just goals, content, and targeting, right? These people achieve this particular goal through this particular means, right? There's the goal, The way you do it's the content, and the person you're doing it for is targeting. So XYZ is really GCT, which is strategy. So when you put a course out there, no one wants to sit through 10 modules of 45 minutes each or something like that. No one has time for that unless they're binging on Netflix, which they keep as like some separate exception. But no one wants to sit through all of that. So when it comes to some kind of training, instead of calling it a course, call it a program. And you want to have the program be as simple as possible, as frictionless as possible, yet still able to achieve the core result. So if you look at our training on $1 a day, so I've sold this as the Facebook $1 a day course, there's probably 15 or 20 hours of content in there where I'm showing how to do it on Twitter. I'm showing how to set up the tracking, how to do audience targeting, how to make the right videos that actually work, how to, optimize to the right engagement rate. Lots of examples of how we've done it, doing it on LinkedIn, doing it on TikTok, doing it on YouTube, lots and lots of examples. But if you think about it, what people really want is how do you do that in just a few steps? Can you give it to people in like a 15-minute summary so they can get immediate results and get immediate impact to then allow them to go deeper in these particular components, right? So reframe everything that's a course into a program. How do I achieve this result in 3 steps? And if it's very clear who you're doing it for, right? If you're doing it for personal injury attorneys or real estate agents, that's going to be a lot more credible than doing it for anyone on the planet who has a new business. So when we looked at Lauren Tickner's business, because we were making interactive video, which I can show you in a minute, yesterday, she's not doing it for anybody. The interactive video was there to actually disqualify all these people, where she's asking, hey, how much revenue are you doing now? And then the buttons pop up below $50,000 a month or above 50. And if you select below $50,000 a month, then she'll say, awesome. I love working with entrepreneurs at this stage. In fact, I have this whole program called the CEO something model, and I want to give that to you free. If they select, I'm doing above 50,000, she'll say, great, above 50,000, you have a model that's working. Tell me, are you selling a high ticket program, meaning above 5,000, or is it below 5,000? And if they select below 5,000, then it's, well, we do have training on how to be able to sell more as a coach and whatnot, but it only works when you have high ticket. So unfortunately, you can go through our training and all this, but I just want to tell you now, we are not a fit for you, because our program, which we've done with hundreds, we've done it for 150 entrepreneurs successfully at a very high success rate, because you are selling high ticket over $5,000 and you're doing more than $50,000 a month. And if you have those things, that means you have a core product that works. It means the value proposition in your offer is working. It means that you're generating leads and you have some kind of reputation and authority, which means you have the necessary ingredients for us to be able to work with what you have and double your business. And then when you have that kind of program where you say, if you have these ingredients and you complete the particular steps that we recommend, you will achieve this particular result. And now it's a program. That's the difference between a course and a program. So then you take program to one step further, because a program is ambiguous. A program can be a YouTube video. It can be something on Kajabi or LearnDash or something people log into and watch videos and complete exercises, which is kind of like a course. A course implies that it's self-paced. A program is ambiguous about whether someone's actually involved helping you get it done. So then from program, you step into things like group coaching or live webinars, training like this. It implies potentially access to whoever's doing the teaching. Because when you say program, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you have this kind of access. But if you want to go from a program to some kind of package where it's a group coaching or mastermind or a done-for-you agency kind of service, then you want to implement Perry Marshall's if, then, else guarantee. This is something that he told me on my birthday last year. I flew into Chicago. We filmed the webinar. And over Mexican food, while we were dipping our chips in guacamole, he explained this thing to me, and I have it on video. And he just told me. It wasn't even something that I was thinking that I needed to know, but that's the most serendipitous kind of moment, when there's something you didn't know that you needed to know. And maybe this will be a serendipitous moment for you. So he said, the if, then, else guarantee works like this. if you meet certain criteria for being this kind of business or having this particular kind of problem, and if you complete the items that we have in our program. So if you show up to the trainings, if you give us access, if you run ads, if you make the videos, if you do the particular things that we're prescribing, right? If these two things are true, then we guarantee that you will achieve this particular measurable business result. Else, penalty back to us, where we give you a refund, or we keep working until you get it done, or something else like that. So that is a risk-free guarantee to a potential client, because it's risk-free to us as the provider of that coaching, training, agency work or whatnot, because if our conditions are true in terms of how we qualify people and what they need to do, because it's always things they need to do and things we need to do. It's never only on us. That's no one wants that, because that's not going to work. There's always things they have to do. But think about things that are reasonable on what we require our clients to do, then we can guarantee this result. So I know for $1 a day that if you have a business that's working, meaning you have happy customers, you're doing more than $1 million a year. These customers, by being happy, because people say, oh yeah, I have happy customers. Okay, the proof of that is you've got 1-minute videos of them. You've got examples of how you execute what you do, and clients that are saying, it's awesome working with Howard because of this and this. And there's a clear, repeatable product, ideally not consulting, because those are the hardest ones to do. But there's a clear result, and it's a repeatable thing that ideally doesn't require you to do it yourself. If you're under $250,000 a year, then you can do that yourself as a one-person business, but that's not really a business, right? So for $1 a day, if you have something that people love, and there's clear evidence of this, and by definition, that also means it's not something people don't want to talk about. So sometimes with cosmetic surgery or like a criminal lawyer, the clients don't want to talk about how they got in trouble for a DUI or something. They're not going to talk about that. But if it's something people talk about, which by definition means you have some kind of authority and proof and trust, then if they also make that, so that's the requirements, then what do they have to do on top of that? The qualifying on top of that in our program, you need to make 1-minute videos. 1-minute videos about why, how, and what. So why is $1 a day important? How do you do $1 a day? And what's the specific, evidence of how this is working? So for a personal injury attorney, why we care so much about people. And, Chris got killed by a truck and we got him a $10 million settlement. All these kinds of why stories. How? Well, what should you do when the police stop you? Or how do you deal with the insurance company? Or how do you know how much you're going to get paid on your claim? Or what about dog bite laws in Kentucky? How do I know, there's all the information kind of in the middle stage, like the meat in the 3-layer sandwich. And then the what is, call me, I'm Daryl Isaacs. I want to be your attorney, right? I'm the hammer. Or call, I think he's got these numbers like 1-444-444, whatever the number. He's got the repeating 22222 all the way across. Call me. I'm the hammer. Hey, if you get in an accident, call me. Did you get hit by a truck? Call me, right? So top, middle, bottom of the funnel. 1-minute videos against each of those. 3 videos against each of those 3 layers, which is called our 3x3 model. And if we guarantee that if you do that, you take the steps we have in the program and you have the prerequisites of a business that's actually functioning well, then we know that the $1 a day program is going to work for you. Done it thousands of times, but we've seen people who don't meet the criteria make 1-minute videos, or they don't understand that it's not just you making 1-minute videos, but there's videos of your people. There's videos of your clients. There's videos of partners that you have. There's videos of you having dinner with other people. All these things that round out these 1-minute videos. But I've seen this work thousands of times. I've seen other agency owners and consultants that implement $1 a day. It works for them. And it's not because it's a magic secret, combination lock formula thing. It's because this is the nature of word of mouth. I can feel very good about this because our $1 a day program, which I didn't really invent this. It was just, that was the minimum budget you could spend on Facebook 17 years ago. We tried it on Google. Tom Breeze did it. I have a whole webinar, a private one of just him and I talking, which we'll share at some point, where he said, yeah, Dennis, I tried $1 a day on YouTube and it works super well. And here's a couple tweaks that we did for YouTube. First off, We found longer form videos that were typically 16 to 18 minutes, like of Mr. Beast and other folks. He has clients like that. And we found the highlight moments. We found where there was because you can go to a YouTube video and scroll through it and you can see where there's a spike where people watch it again, where they do the replay or they stop it and rewind it. And we found those moments were actually the best hooks. So then we would take that hook from that long video, take a few of these summaries, and then run these pre-roll ads. And then those would run to the ads that we already were running that were generating sales. And we found that we could significantly scale a client, because Tom Breeze, his specialty is YouTube ads. We found that we could scale significantly on YouTube from what we were already doing with regular long form YouTube ads, like a Harmon Brothers ad. And we found that your technique of $1 a day actually provided significant increase. And we found a formula that worked really well. In fact, it's when the average completion time of the video, of the longer form video, is over 35%. When the hook has something like more than 50% of people are watching, when the cost per view is under a certain amount, then we know that after spending $1 a day against it, we can put $100 a day or $1,000 a day or whatnot, subject to the size of the audience that we can target. And now with Performance Max, you don't even need to worry about that kind of targeting. The system will just figure it out for you. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. How many people know that? Almost nobody. But this is an example of a core technique that we have tried. And then we put it into this if, then else scenario. So think about now, what is it that you're selling? It could be a product or service. There's some core that causes it to work. So the core of what's working for me for $1 a day is that the idea of social media advertising does work if you have something good to amplify. The idea of digital marketing is if something's good, you should find a way to let the system amplify that for you. Taking content and targeting combinations, which is quality score or relevance score, right? Google's called quality score. Facebook or whatever is called relevancy score, which is the intersection of content times targeting. So people click on it. If it's the right content for the right audience, then we expect a 10% click-through rate. We expect at least a 10% engagement rate on videos. If it's not 10%, then your content and targeting isn't working right. There's not enough authority or appeal or relevancy of this content to this audience. So that's the core of why I know our product, $1 a day, as a program will work, because that's fundamentally the mechanics of what's working in digital advertising. Now, for what you have to sell, it might be some other kind of mechanic, right? Like literally, it could be a mechanic, like how do you fix transmissions? And we guarantee that we will fix your transmission in 1 day or less, whatever it might be. But think about the core of that product, tie that to the offer, which is what is it that causes people to want to buy your product or service? And I recommend this if, then else guarantee that Perry Marshall talked about. And now you can run campaigns of all different types with very little risk, because there's no risk to you because you know what the criteria is. And there's no risk to whoever's buying because they understand this is exactly who it's for. This is what I have to do. This is the result I'm going to get. And then here's the penalty, money back guarantee, whatever it is to assure that this is actually going to work well. This is a fantastic model for selling anything. It's not even an internet model. And when I spent time with Lauren yesterday in Austin, we were talking about so many entrepreneurs who they just have a shitty product. And no amount of marketing is going to overcome having a shit product. You could have, Grant Cardone and Russell Brunson sell your thing. It doesn't matter, because if you can't get the result, you're going to get refunds. People are going to talk bad about you. It's not going to allow you to have a lighthouse, which is then how you're able to extend the content with higher authority content. Look up Lighthouse Model, Dennis Yu, if you haven't seen that. But if you think about that, getting a piece of that result that you're able to achieve. So Lauren, by doubling other people's businesses, if she doubles a $10 million business to $20 million, which she's done, then that $10 million increase, she can easily argue for 5% of that, right? If she doubles a $200,000 business, an extra 5% of $200,000 is not really a lot. So her model, the way she's able to make all this money is that she's not even charging a fee. She's charging based on the increase, but she only wants to take companies that have the necessary ingredients that can achieve that kind of increase that she's looking for, which is fantastic. Which I think any of us, whether it's our own business or we're working for someone else's business or we run an agency, you want to have the ideal client. How awesome was it when we had the Golden State Warriors and we got a 1% rev share on everything that we drove through digital? So that doesn't sound like much, 1%, but because we increased digital sales from nothing to $37 million in the first year, 1% is actually not bad. $370,000, that's not bad. The actual cost of us doing all that was almost $400,000, but that was, first year we lost money, which is fine. But then take it to $50 million, take it to $60 million. And if our cost is only $300,000 and we're getting 600, that's not bad, right? Versus we take a little league team and increase their revenue from $10,000 to $20,000. That's just not going to work, right? So this helps you get the right clients when you're able to show convincingly, authoritatively that you can achieve this particular result. So we make our money on the outcome. So the bigger the outcome we can drive, then the more we deserve to get of that. If we can't drive an outcome, then you could be really good at selling, but it's just not going to last, as you know, right? So if driving the outcome for the right client is the thing we really need to be focusing on in our business, no matter what we are selling, then let's go back to the original point. How much should you sell a course or a program for? And Alex Hormozi's argument is you should give it away for free. Why? Because the more people that can come through your training and you make it as helpful as possible, you share exactly how you do everything, that basically does your marketing, because you don't need to do sales and marketing. You don't have to hire a ton of salespeople anymore. You just put your knowledge out there and the best people will self-qualify, because you're training by saying, if you're disqualifying as many people as possible. It's not, let me try to talk to as many people as possible in a boiler room scenario and try to close them all. It's, how do I show, hey, I do this for Grant Cardone. Hey, I do this for so-and-so as a lighthouse, someone who's well-known in that industry. Here's a technique that I used. Here's what they had to do. Here's what they had to have coming into it, bringing in. And this is what our team did to achieve this result. Here's a recipe. Let me show you this recipe, and share it in a podcast, in a book, in a YouTube video, snippets in social media, however you want to share it. They're all the same thing. Then that's going to cause more people to sign up for a $50,000 program. So you're never going to get there selling low ticket, which is the thing that Rudy Maurer, Chris Cawley, Lauren Tickner, me, all these other people are teaching is you're not going to get there selling $10 items or $97 courses, because those people are all refund. They need a lot of support. They don't understand. They don't have the necessary ingredients. They blame you when their stuff doesn't convert, when really they have a crappy product, a crappy offer. They don't have authority. They're not getting a 10% click-through rate. They're not getting a decent conversion rate because they don't know how to speak on camera. They don't have proof of other customers, clients that have achieved this result. Lauren's got testimonial after testimonial of people who've achieved great results, and her track record is fantastic. And it's not because she's amazing. It's because she's super, super picky about qualifying. So she's not going to take someone who's not doing at least $50,000 a month and is selling a high ticket item, because that's who she serves. When people come in and say, I've got $1,000 item, or I'm only doing $40,000 a month, she's not going to take them on, but she'll push them to the free training. Alex Hormozi wrote this book called $100 Million Offers, where he explains this, and he explains this on all these YouTube videos and whatnot, where he says, yeah, I put all my training out there for free. Gary Vaynerchuk, same thing. He says, I put all my training out there for free. Why? Because if you could meet the criteria of what we need, I think Alex says you got to do $2 million a year doing e-commerce, then I want to invest in your company. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are doing e-com where they want to qualify to be in Alex's thing because of his system and his reputation and his techniques and all that, and the team that he has. So by him doing more speaking, more marketing, more teaching really of what he has, not sales, but just sharing what he knows, that's growing his business, because all these people want to pay money to be in his program and they know what the criteria is. So think about your company. The cachet should be such that I really want to work with your company. And it's like getting into Harvard, right? It's not something where I have to talk to a salesperson and they're trying to convince me, but it's the other way, where the reverse psychology, where I really want to get in. That means I got to qualify, right? Imagine how hard people will work to try to get into Harvard University. And it should be that kind of elite. Hey, I'm not just some random person, but I meet these qualifications, and it's an honor for me to have so-and-so as my agency, or to be able to join this elite, club, or whatever it might be, the country club that's hard to get into. And it should be like that for your business. You should have that level of cachet Not because you piss on the people that are poor or are not successful, but because you say, hey, look, we have something for everybody. If you don't meet the criteria, then we have all this free training and it's free and all this. This is our way of giving back. But if you meet the criteria, then we charge a lot because we guarantee this particular result. So thus you go from all this free training that's ungated to a program/course, which is the new course that people have to sign up for, but it's still free. And then through interactive journeys or through email sequencing or through a quiz or other kind of funnel, you're disqualifying as many people as possible so that the people that meet that if criteria then can get that result by going through the program that you implement, whether it's a done for you, done with you, or group coaching kind of program. And that's where the evolution of all courses are moving to. It's delivering that particular result, whether they're implementing it themselves, which means just put your training out there for free, but not actually talk to anybody. Don't waste your time, which is very valuable, but put your knowledge out there for free. Or they're the right kind of person to talk to, and it's actually worth your team's time to take them on because they already pre-qualified instead of, hey, anyone who wants to hop on the phone with me, here's my 15-minute booking link. Never allow anyone to, even if you're new, never allow just anybody to jump on the phone with you because now you're just a salesperson. Okay? That's what I want to share with you. That's what's been on my mind. I want to see, what do you guys think about that? This is a big transformation. I think that from a strategic standpoint, in some ways, it's bigger than ChatGPT. It's bigger than TikTok. It's bigger than all these other things that are technology or tool or fad driven, because we're looking at the heart of business. The heart of business is, how do you create the most value? The more value you can create reliably and consistently, the more you can charge, especially if your customers are the ones doing the work for you, because you've systematized how you do it, who it's for, you're documenting how you're driving the result for the client, and then putting that out there for everyone else to see. It's not some esoteric theoretical model. This is the heart of word of mouth, but now it's possible in digital. Now it's possible because we have analytics, we have GA4 for event tracking and pixels and custom audiences. That's our live training for today. I'd love to hear, what do you guys think about that?
I think it's potentially scary.
Scary? Why scary?
Well, because I think it's exciting, but it's potentially scary because it's a change in people's thought process, and whenever that gets disrupted, it creates some fear in some people. I think it provides opportunity for others. I think it provides opportunity for us, especially the way you laid it out. But I think that there are a lot of people who are going to be looking at it and still trying to squeeze out the $97 course or the $497 course or something like that. But I think it offers a good opportunity.
Okay. Scary for who? For the agencies or people doing business? That's what you're saying?
I think for the agencies, or for I'm actually thinking about my competitors, right? They don't really want to put out, everything is gated. They don't want to put anything out. They don't want to. They think that it's the knowledge that they hold that is going to bring the client in. And when I've talked with friendly competitors and not so friendly competitors, it's the conversations I have is, there's nothing that I'm doing or that they're doing that isn't available freely, either in a library or on the internet or someplace else. It's really the experience of being able to put things together that's valuable, and putting the content out doesn't hurt. It only helps. So I think that it's scary for some of my competitors. I'm just thinking about 2 or 3 people that I've spoken to in the last week that at an IT event that would say, well, we have to guard everything and we have to be the gatekeepers on it. So I just think it's an interesting model shift.
Good. Well, let them flush themselves down the toilet.
Exactly.
And maybe some work for you, because you're right. A lot of people play this close to the vest. It's a secret. If I tell you, I have to kill you, especially when there's some kind of technology component. But they don't realize that everything is available on the internet. And now these chat GPTs make it even easier. For example, let's say that one of the lights in my house shorts out, right? I could probably go to YouTube and whatever and figure out, how do you fix a thing with all the circuits and wiring? And I could, go to Home Depot and buy the parts. But there's a good chance that I could electrocute myself because I don't know what I'm doing. And this is like a dirty secret. I have some friends who are surgeons, top-notch surgeons. And patients don't know this, but a lot of surgeons, they go look up how to do a procedure on YouTube because they've not done that procedure in a while and they don't remember exactly what it is. And they're watching YouTube videos. Now, if I was about to get an operation tomorrow and I knew that my surgeon was going to YouTube, ooh, I don't know about that. But that's how people are learning. So we all know that you can Google it. Google has made it, well, I know I say that we all, but even a lot of our people don't know that you can use YouTube, which just amazes the hell out of me. Even Rihan Alawal and I talk about how people, like, we think people know how to use Google. They do not. They do not, like, it's just like their brain doesn't understand. They want to ask me instead of like searching. But the good clients, the ones we want to serve, understand that they can get all the information is out there, but they don't have time and they have a premium on their time. So they're going to pay. And so the clients that will want to argue with you and micromanage you and, whatever, think they know better about digital or IT, you don't want those people. Those smarty pants can go to the competitors. And if they think that you're too expensive because, well, I went on YouTube and I found that it only takes you 30 minutes to do that. So why would you charge me $500? Go do it yourself then, right? Because you're paying for the expertise, you're paying for my experience. You're not paying for how long it took me to do the thing, right? You're paying for the result. So you have nothing to worry about. These other people are going to get increasingly flushed down the toilet because information is increasingly more available. And this AI chat layer is a layer that sits on top of search. It doesn't replace search, because what it does is it takes all the search results and then combines it into a thing for you. So you don't have to read through all the search results. So it is a curator of, reassembler of search content, not 10 blue links on the first page, but reassembling that stuff to personalize to what you want to do. So that's a good thing for us, but it's going to hurt people that don't have reputation and don't understand that you need to share what you know. So I believe ultimately digital, especially with all these new things coming out, is a reputation multiplier. And that makes it even more important for us to share our knowledge, because we want the system, to multiply what we already have. If you don't have anything, you're multiplying by a zero. So people that don't have a reputation, don't have a solid product, don't have relationships, it's ultimately the psychology of, do you have good relationships that come from delivering a good product or service over time so that other people want to work for you? It's nothing to do with technology. I don't think this is a thing where the people that have technical sophistication are going to win. I believe that the technology is democratizing so that people who don't have all these tech skills, don't know how to code HTML or whatever it is, build apps, they will win, because the system, just like with Facebook ads, the system can figure out whether you're legit or not. Even if you're a nobody, you have no reputation, you don't have any skill, you don't have clear client proof of delivering results, and you use ChatGPT, and you're an expert at using ChatGPT to generate all kinds of stuff, DALL-E and Midjourney and all these other tools to generate videos and courses on whatever, you're not going to win. Not because the AI can detect that you're using fake techniques or whatever. The Google can detect that you're using AI. That's a whole nother discussion. But because there's no scent of you having actually done the thing, your actual stories, your actual experiences, who you're with and what you've done. The AI can't do that, because unless it could lie, I suppose, you get the AI to lie that you had the Golden State Warriors as a client, but it would never last, because once that other team or client said, oh yeah, I saw what you did for Nike, can you do that for us? And you don't actually know how to do it, at some point, it's going to come back on you. It's like lying, right? Telling too many lies, it's going to catch. You can have the AI lie for you, but it's going to come back at you. So I have no fear of this AI, because it is something we look forward to. It's like looking forward to Christmas gifts. It's a reward for us. Other people, it's like turning the light on in the dark room. They're scared of that because it's going to reveal how ugly they are, It's like Mark Cuban said that when everything's going great, everyone looks like a genius when the stock market's going up. But inevitably, as what's going to happen by the end of the year, things are going to go down. And there's going to be a crash in different ways. And that's when the tide goes back and it reveals all the people who were naked. And that's going to happen. I feel sad about that. But at the same time, every one of these things creates opportunity as well. And that's the opportunity we have here. So we should all jump on this. And we're here in San Francisco, about to teach a workshop here, courtesy of the city of San Francisco Small Business Development Center and public library. We've done this thing every month, but we've come back to doing it in person here in San Francisco. And we're going to cover all these things live in person. We haven't done workshops for 2 years. We used to do them every quarter, but I can't wait till we have events again, especially because we've been doing this whole digital marketing AI thing, I think. All right, any questions, thoughts, things you want to bring up?
No? Hi, Dennis. This is Nick here. How are you?
Hey, Mr. Nick.
Good to hear from you today, and excellent course as always. Appreciate all your time. I had a quick question I wanted to bring up and really just get your advice. I am going to be on a panel at this MDMC conference in St. Louis in a couple of weeks. And the panel is on future of AI and marketing. And I've been using a lot of AI tools here recently in my agency and getting a good handle on it, but I'm by no means to your scale. So I was wondering if you had any advice as I prepare for this on any takes that you'd be kind enough to allow me to consider, or anything that you would think would be good for a panel like this.
Well, the panel is tough because there's all these other people on the panel and it's not your presentation. So who's the audience? Why would people come? And who are the other people on the panel?
You know what? That's a good question. I haven't been to this conference before, but in asking the other panelists, we had a meeting. They said it's a lot of young entrepreneurs, some young marketing professionals in the St. Louis area. There's companies that sponsor and send a lot of their marketing teams, like Anheuser-Busch and that sort of thing.
Okay. So what do you want out of this? You want to get clients from Anheuser-Busch or big companies?
Well, that'd be incredible. I'm not quite to that scale, but I'd love to be prepared for something like that if the opportunity arises, and maybe not them, but certainly other people in the audience would be a great demo, I think.
Okay. So how many panelists?
Myself and 3 others, and I can actually send you a photo. I'll email it to you of who the other panelists are and details.
You need a lead magnet, because anytime there's a panel, depending on how loud these other people are, it can be a race for attention, like, who can suck the oxygen out of the room. And you don't want to have to be competing for talk time. Because usually when you have a panel, especially 4 people, usually one person's a loudmouth. And it's hard. That's just kind of like, I've been on enough panels. That's just like what happens. Okay. Like one person talks too much. And if there's a good moderator, do you know the moderator?
I just met him for the first time. Let me look up the info here as I'm talking to you, and I'll see if I can drop it in the chat for you. One minute.
No, don't do that. Let me just tell you the answer. I already know what the answer is to this thing here. You need to have some kind of lead magnet and some kind of differentiator, because all these other people are going to say the same stuff that they've heard from everyone else. And I could regurgitate the same stuff too. And I can give you my favorite articles on what's going on with AI, which has obviously changed a lot in the last week or two. But the bigger thing is, can you show some examples of how you're doing AI? And based on this, can you form a framework? Even have ChatGPT write it as a framework, the NICK framework or whatever. It's like the AI can do that, right? I've got plenty of webinars that teach that, and have it to where you have some kind of thing to give away, some kind of framework, maybe you collect a whole bunch of prompts, right? Here's the best prompts that I've collected on using whatever, right? Mid-Journey or the ChatGPT to be able to write an essay or to be able to evaluate a marketing campaign, or plugins. That's a great angle to focus in, right? What does the plugin market mean? And should we be building plugins? Because now there's a 3-tier architecture with AI. There's importing the data into the brain, and then there's taking action, which is like buying food, writing campaigns, interfacing with your CRM, all the actions that can be taken, right? You see there's the AI is in the middle, but you have the input. So the way it's learning is through these plugins, right? So maybe you assemble what the top plugins are, some kind of map. Maybe you assemble a list of all the best prompts to use to achieve a certain business objective. Maybe you use the AI, which I've done, like through Synthesia and Descript and these other ones, to have a virtual Nick that speaks something. If you have access to the laptop and you play something, tell them moderate, hey, for a part of my thing, I just want to play this 1-minute thing that I generated using ChatGPT and, whatever it is, right? And then that gives you something to talk about versus just a normal panel. Everyone just takes turns talking and there's nothing to show. So it's just people just theorizing. And so when you have a bad moderator, which is 99% of the time, the moderator just allows people to theorize. And so panels are the worst places to be on because they're very hard to get value out of, because people don't prepare because they know it's like, oh, there's 4 other panelists. So I'll just kind of wing it and we'll all just kind of on the cuff give our opinion. But you need to be prepared. The panels are actually the toughest because you have less airtime. But you need to have some kind of lead magnet that you can give away, printed.
Okay, no, that's great advice and spot on as always. So thank you so much. So let me work on that, and if you'd be so kind, I might send you the example that I'm coming up with for some advice later on.
Yeah, and then make it so when I look you up, all your stuff is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look up and you'll see all my stuff is there. Like I think a lot of your stuff's not there, so that's another longer term thing.
Right. Always work in progress. But yeah, the moderator I looked up is a guy named Ryan Brock from a company called Demand Jump. I don't know if you're familiar with them. So
just talk to him. Have a 5-minute call with him, and he'll appreciate that. Saying, hey, look, I know it's tough being a moderator with all these other folks. Here's the angle that I want to come in on. Here's the kinds of things I want to talk about, because the other panelists probably didn't tell the moderator of all the questions, because the moderator is probably going to have to come up with his own questions. He doesn't know the angles, but say, here's who I am. Here's the kinds of questions that I would typically cover. And here's here's what I'd like to say about it, just so you know where I fit in with the other panelists. And they'll really appreciate that, because most people on a panel don't do that.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Really appreciate the advice. I'll get started on that.
Awesome, Nick. Yeah, good luck. Alicia.
I wonder if sometime we can do a session about the different market areas, because I just think that at some point there's going to be a new little replicate of Silicon Valley, and it's not going to be in California. I was just reading about Bob.
In the United States. It's going to be outside the United States.
I think it's going to be outside.
Look at what's going on in Tel Aviv.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Sao Paulo, right? Look
I'd
at,
love to talk about
even Kosovo, where Florian is, right? There's an entrepreneur outburst occurring, right? Look at, Islamabad, Pakistan, lots of things.
Well,
look at China.
About Bob Lee.
Yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah, it's really sad, and more here in the Bay Area, people are just tired.
Yeah,
California is expensive. I mean, even for tech companies, for all these startup companies, it's super expensive to have a company here. You can
a lot of people in California and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter where you are, because it's who you know. Yeah, you can make it work in any city.
Know more about the markets that you think are thriving right now that are outside of the U.S.
For entrepreneurship, not for VAs. I think that Brazil and parts of Eastern Europe and, India, parts of Pakistan. I think Singapore is starting to make some way. I would have thought there'd be more in China, but I have a lot of friends over there, but they're keeping closed because it's, all these things you can say about China everywhere. I mean, I see the whole point of, when COVID happened, anyone with the laptop and an internet connection can do stuff. There's stuff coming out of Africa from people that are using Raspberry Pis as their computers. There are people that are just using their cell phone that are doing entrepreneurship. There's this guy in Pakistan, but he's created 600 types of businesses that you can start, home-based like factories, for under $100. 600 types. And he has millions of people that are now making a little bit of income, a couple $100 a month, which is more than the $80, $90 a month in Pakistan, by manufacturing things inside their place, basically. So it's not digital marketing, because who was it that said, Mark Andreessen said that one of the most famous quotes in Silicon Valley, software is eating the world. And what is it? 6 of the top 10 biggest companies in the world are tech companies, because everything's moved towards software. Well, now there's a new phrase. AI is eating software. And this extends into the physical world. Silicon Valley's been grown mainly on pure play digital. But now with the extensions into these marketplace models that have a physical component and a labor component, it's not Silicon Valley anymore. I mean, where the most silicon's being made is TSMC in Taiwan. They hold basically a monopoly on all the high-end chips, and they make it for everybody. And most of the guys, like these Intel folks, are fabless. So it's not Silicon Valley anymore. Silicon is being made in Taiwan. So the world's changed. And when I was here in Silicon Valley 20 some years ago, it's a completely different world for many reasons.